news, interviews, and all the latest information about anything and everything medical cannabis related in Tucson, Arizona, and the world at large.
We'd love to hear from you. Please give us a call live at 646-915-8421. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on all social media, or email thctucson@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Tumbleweed Health Center and Studio C, along with our many sponsors, for hosting our show every week. With the lowest price certifications in town, you'll find hemp products, accessories, and all things related to medical cannabis education.
Visit Tumbleweed's Health Center at 4826 East Broadway Boulevard or online at tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. And remember,
Be smart,
be safe,
and educate.
All right, welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Woo-woo. How is everybody doing out there? To my bestie, happy day after tax day. Woo-hoo. You made it. You did it. Woo-hoo. Good for you. Little late bastards are next. And that's not me this year. Yay! Finally. Oh, I had my taxes done way early. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. How is everybody doing today? Weedsday Wednesday. Woo-hoo. Still can't believe it's been over 13 years now. My Lord. 13 years of radio. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. All right. Welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. How is everybody doing out there? I woke up with a headache, I think, and it feels like one of those sugar headaches, you know, when you eat too much sugar, but I didn't eat that much sugar. That's the problem. But, maybe I did with the sushi I had, because I get the American sushi where it's like, could you top that with some sweet eel sauce and stuff it with cream cheese? And maybe fry it. Yep, that's American sushi. I don't think we do sushi the way the Japanese do it. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. We are spending money and supporting local businesses. Golf clap for that. Woo-hoo! Got to support your local businesses, folks. Super, super important to do that. I just saw a commercial yesterday with Walmart, and they are now offering medical advice. Yeah, what the heck is that all about? I don't even know what that's all about. That's strange. You can call in and you can get, you can or text or email or call them and be like, hey, I've got a headache. What do I do for it? And then they hook you up with a medical specialist, quote unquote. And then, of course, there's a link to buy whatever it is you need for your prescription. They actually get you a prescription. Oh, my Lord. That is just crazy to me. If you think about trying to buy local, it's really hard to do. I mean, if you're looking for things like, I don't know, toilet paper or even new clothes, I mean, where do you go locally? I don't know. So I grew up in Napa before it was fancy. That's right. And that's all we had were local stores. We didn't have all this. We had a Mervyn's and we had a Kmart. And We had a local Hallmark store owned by somebody in town. And what else did we have? We didn't have Target or anything fancy until way later in life. Um, and we had local banks and Lions was our quote unquote Denny's. We had a place called Lions that we would go to for as a restaurant, and then it was like a Denny's, and then we had a Chinese food place that my parents really liked. I forget what it's called. I have to ask my brothers if they remember the name of that one. And then what else did we have? I mean, I think there was a Big Five. There was another store. What was it? Anywho, welcome to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. Belle Star here, Silver Sisters, stuck in traffic, cannabis kids making videos somewhere else. And we are just going to start our day. So, let's see. Well, guess what? It is our 420 week. Yay. That's right. 420 is on Easter. That is cool, isn't it? Jesus for weed. One of my friends said, I'm skipping Jesus this weekend and going to get some weed. Which that just cracks me up. Skipping Jesus. Jesus wore hemp clothes, so he's all in it. You got to know Jesus was for weed. You got to. That's all natural, man. That's probably what was going on back then. He's like, here, just take a little sip of this, or, eat that, or I don't know if he was smoking it back then. I would imagine that they had people rolling doobies back then. Ugh, what I wouldn't give for a doobie right now. Lordy be. But you're listening to Weedsday Wednesday, brought to you by Tumbleweeds Health Center at 4826 East Broadway Boulevard. No, we moved. Oh, that's 13 years. We are at Tumbleweeds Health Centers now at 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. Come and see us. We moved into our shop called The Good Leaf. And yeah, golf clap for that. Beautiful store. Oh my goodness. Absolutely beautiful. It is just a gorgeous store. And Silver Sister has worked her butt off and found the best products to put in there. And there's just everything. You want it, you name it, you got it. It's in there. So come on down. Get all your hemp and CBD products. I call those decaf weed. But it's brought to you by Weedsday Wednesday brought to you by Tumbleweeds Health Center and The Good Leaf. And if you want to know what you can get certified for in the great state of Arizona, and you don't even have to come into our shop, you can just dial in from wherever you are. You can be sitting on your couch, you can be in your car, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to know what you can get certified for, get on over to tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. Check out the certification section. But I'm going to tell you right now what you could get your card for, your medical marijuana card. PTSD, that's one of the things that the state of Arizona says you have to have a record of within the last 12 months. There's no getting around that one, that's for sure. And most of these ailments you're going to have records for, because if you're diagnosed with these things, you surely have seen a doctor. And hopefully it's not Dr. Google. Cancer, glaucoma, AIDS, chronic pain, which covers everything from migraines, headaches that I have now, fibromyalgia, leg cramps, menstrual cramps. Gosh, a lot of things can cause chronic pain. Arthritis, all the arthritises, DDD, all your disc disease problems, all your spine problems. Chronic is just 60 days in the state of Arizona. So that is what our health department requires. Severe nausea, Seizures, all seizures, including epilepsy. That's HIV, Hep C, ALS, Crohn's disease, agitation of Alzheimer's disease, cachexia, wasting syndrome, dementia, severe and persistent muscle spasms, including multiple sclerosis. And don't worry if you didn't hear your condition listed here. It doesn't matter, because if you are using or if you're taking something for the treatment of your condition, or you're going through a therapy or a process that's causing any one of these conditions like Tourette's and autism and Asperger's and all sorts of things that aren't on this list can cause things on this list, you can get your medical marijuana card.
If you suffer from one of these medical conditions and have been diagnosed by an Arizona licensed physician, medical cannabis may help relieve your symptoms. Tumbleweeds Health Center is Arizona's premier cannabis certification, health, and education center. Our primary focus is to help the patients of Arizona obtain their medical marijuana card and educate everyone about medical cannabis. With current medical records, approval is a simple process. Contact Tumbleweeds Health Center to see if you qualify for your Arizona medical marijuana card.
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way. Our chronic condition.
That's right. Just give us a call, 520-838-4430. You can even email thctucson@gmail.com. And just come on down to 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. So I'm looking on Leafly because there have got to be, let's see. Okay, there's the 420 story, which we'll read because we read every year. It's important. Let's see, 420 events in Tucson. Let's see what's going on in Tucson. Oh, this is what my buddies are going to. Well, some of them, they're thinking that it's on the 20th, but this one's on the 19th. Let's see. 420 festival tickets at the Whistle Stop Event Center. 420 420 Fest, brought to you by Earth Healing. And it's Saturday, not on Sunday. It's Saturday from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's at the Whistle Stop Event Center, and that's 127 West 5th Street. We used to live right across the street from there. Like literally, we could just open our door and see it. It was right there. And the train's there too, and it was so crazy. Good Lord. What else is going on? Let's see. There's a headliner, Urban Life. There's live bands, a DJ Jamar. There's a Chef Pablo Valencia open fire pit cooking and food trucks. There's yard games and an art village with curated vendors. Tickets are $25 to $40. Probably depends on what you get in your food bucket or your basket. And yeah, so you could check that out. Let's see if there are any other ones worthwhile. Let's see. Oh, it looks like that's pretty much it. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. Local festival from the Tucson Weekly. Tucson Doobie and Tucson Foodie are celebrating Tucson's booming cannabis culture. And that's it. That's the Earth Healing one. So that's what's going to happen. Guests will be able to browse various flower, concentrates, edibles, vapes, and more from vendors like Earth Healing, Prime Leaf, Saints, High West Farms, Halo, and Pinata's Premium Cannabis. And a lot of the dispensaries are part of the 420 Fest. So there you go. Again, it's a 420 Fest at the Whistle Stop Depot, 2 to 8 p.m. on Saturday. Cost is $40, $25 to $40, and you can visit Tucson420fest.com. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in our little chat session over here, so you can see that and you can check it out. And then why don't we go ahead and check out what is behind the reason for 420. Let's check it out. All right, here we go. 420. And let's see. Oh, then here's an interview with the founding fathers of 420. So hang on. Let's see if we can get to it without an ad. We'll see. Oh, yeah, no, this is the ad first. So we're going to just skip the ad. Hang on a minute. It's going to give us the option. Marin, not Marin. I don't hear you. Hmm. I don't hear anything either. Hello? I don't even hear anything. I just hear dead air. Oh, there's a serious delay. All right, we're gonna, huh? No, I'm gonna put this on a different different browser, and usually that works. If I stick something on a different browser, it works. I'm not sure why you can't. Whoa! Oh, Doug and Emu. I love that guy. All right, so let's see here.
Means a lot of things.
Let's try again. There is a delay, but
420 means a lot of things to different people, but broadly speaking, 420 is the unofficial holiday for
usually
cannabis.
This works. No?
It's also the biggest sales event of the year. The most widely accepted origin
really
story
weird.
of 420
I
has
can't
its
even hear
start
me
in
now again.
1971 at San Rafael High School in
Now again.
1971 California
Oh.
at San Rafael.
It's working.
We've
Okay.
been friends for over 50 years, and we used to sit on the wall at San Rafael High School in the middle of the campus, and we'd watch people going by and do impressions of them and make jokes and try to make each other's laugh. And that's how we became the Waldos, from sitting on the wall.
One day, a friend of a friend brought them a hand-drawn map and said, "Hey, my brother is a Coast Guard, and he planted some weed plants."
And he said these guys were growing marijuana. For some reason, they thought that their commanding officer was going to bust them, and they didn't want to get busted. So they decided to abandon this growing project. They said, we could pick it. They said that the Coast Guardsman drew a map of where it was, and he had the map. He showed me the map. And we decided, hey, let's go pick it.
We all looked at it, and he told us what the story was, and all of us were going to get together, meet at 420, and search for these hidden plants.
They set the time at 4:20 p.m. They would meet at this statue and on campus, light a joint, jump in the car, and go, on an adventure trying to look for these plants. So it went on for several weeks, and they never found them. But they did coin the term 420.
We could say 420 is our secret code in front of our parents, cops, teachers, everybody. And nobody knew what it was, and it was our little private joke.
And it spread to the wider circle of friends that we had. It spread to our younger brother. It spread to their classmates. So it started going from class to class to class. It started going through generations. you go to college and your college buddies, they pick it up, and they're from all over the United States.
My brother
Ooh, Phil
Patrick
Lesh.
was good friends with Phil Lesh, the bassist from the Grateful Dead, for 50 years. Now, Phil asked my brother Pat if he'd like to manage a couple of side bands while their Dead were taking some time off. So I worked with them, touring around California, doing shows, and I was backstage smoking with Phil Lesh and guys like David Crosby and Terry Haggerty and a host of other musicians. And Patrick, my brother, and I were spreading 420 backstage, and then it kind of filtered through the the roadies and the people that were hanging out, and that spread throughout the Dead community. And after that, the entire world.
You know, with the proliferation of state legalization, I feel like we forget that, like, in the 90s, marijuana was not okay. Really, the term 420 is a vestige of the past, like of drug suppression, of, anti-drug PSAs. Perhaps the biggest irony of this whole cultural phenomenon is that what started as a joke between a couple of Stones teenagers has blossomed into the biggest sales event of the industry. This year, the legal cannabis industry, which is across 17 states for adult use and over 30 states for medical, is going to bring in $20 billion in sales. What's special this year is that it's the 50th anniversary of the Waldos coining the term 420. There's only 3 states that have not amended their marijuana laws. So when you think about it on that level, the tipping point is here. The latest Gallup poll put it at 68% of Americans want marijuana to be legal, or at least feel that it should be legal. In the 70s, that same stat was around 15%.
It's been 50 years of the creation of 420, but it's been over 50 years of our friendship, and that's the most important thing that we have going here, is that we're still all alive, pretty much healthy, and we're still friends. We want to celebrate friendship and the spirit of 420 of friendship, humor, and kindness.
There you have it, folks. The history of 420. All right. Couple of Marin. Silly folks. San Rafael. I lived there for a while. Actually, 7 years is a long while. Great little town. All right. So let's see what else is happening in the world of weed. What is this? Oh, yeah. That's the Tucson Weekly. We already read about that. All right, so let's see what's going on with some news. azmarijuana.com says there's no events happening. We just read one that Earth's Healing is going to have, which Little Mary Marijuana thinks that it's on Sunday. She thinks she's skipping Jesus for weed, but the event is actually on Saturday. So I don't know what she's going to do, because we're supposed to go to a powwow on Saturday. And she's thinking she's going to go get some Jesus weed on Sunday. And she's not. She's going to miss the entire event. It's going to wipe her out. She does a powwow and the weed and all the same day. I had a feeling they weren't going to make it to the powwow for some reason. But yeah, I'll probably let her know about that one. So she'll get to do a powwow another time. She'll probably go do some Jesus weed. All right, cannabis news. What is going on? There's an Arizona dispensary that launches grass tasty vapes. Let's see. I've never been a big fan of vapes, especially the ones that have the dry herb vape, because they taste like burnt popcorn to me. I don't know. And I always try, if and when I did do vapes, I was always trying to get a cartridge that had just pure cannabis oil in it, which just trashes Silver Sister. But everything trashes Silver Sister. She can't even do weed anymore. She's such a lightweight. Well, D2 Dispensaries in Arizona has unveiled Grass Tasty Vape, the latest addition to its exclusive product lineup. The bold, flavorful, disposable Vapes are designed for cannabis enthusiasts seeking vibrant taste and exceptional value. They're launching the following lineup of strange, each bursting with fruity flavors from flavor-enhanced terpene profiles. I don't like this enhancement of things. I just like the pure. Just give it to me pure and raw. These are called 24 Gold Punch, Strainbow, Blue Widow, Lychee Dream, Golden Pineapple, and Grape Goji OG. Quote, we're incredibly excited to bring grass, tasty vapes to our customers, said Mo Asnani, partner in D2 Dispensaries. The feedback we've received throughout product development has been outstanding, especially regarding the bold flavors and the convenience of the device. We can't wait for our customers to experience them for themselves. We're incredible. Arizonans can find grass at both D2 dispensaries, downtown and east side locations. All right. So there you go. Go get some grass for yourself. Italian trade group launch coordinated pushback against illegal ban. Oh gosh, not again. Forget it. Hemp today. I should know better. Every week I do this. We have to subscribe, or you just can't. You just can't have it. Can't do it. It's so weird. So maybe I'll subscribe. Who knows? All right. So that's about it there. Let's see what else is going on in Cannabis Business Times. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, mother of True Leave cannabis worker who died testifies on a workplace safety bill. I did not know. I don't think I knew this happened. The legislation would form a Department of Workplace and Consumer Safety within the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission. More than 3 years after 27-year-old True Leave cannabis worker died following an occupational asthma attack in the now closed processing facility in Holyoke, Mass. Lawmakers are considering legislation to provide workplace safety for the industry. Well, that's interesting. The legislation, House Bill 194, would create a department within the state's Cannabis Regulatory Commission dedicated to implementing occupational safety standards for the state's licensed businesses. This new government entity, the Department of Workplace and Consumer Safety, DWCS, would be responsible for investigating air quality, first responder access, and other workplace safety matters that could lead to better conditions in cannabis cultivation, processing, and retail facilities. Under HB 194, sponsored by Rep. Susanna Whips, the DWCS also would be tasked with ensuring consumer safety by compiling data related to mold testing and reporting that data to the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission, the CCC, under which it would be umbrellaed. The legislation comes in the afternoon of Lorna McCurry's January death in 2022. The 27-year-old from West Springfield had an asthma attack and collapsed while filling pre-rolls with keef, ground up cannabis dust, at True Leave's processing facility in Holyoke, according to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, accident investigation summary. She died 3 days later at Bay State Hospital. On April 9th, 2025, McCurry's mother, Laura Brenew, testified in support of HB 194 before the Massachusetts Legislature's Joint Committee on Cannabis Policy, which held a hearing to allow public comment on 21 cannabis-related bills. Quote, I am testifying today because my daughter Lorna's death was preventable, she said, adding that her daughter had an initial occupational asthma attack 8 weeks earlier in the production facility. Lorna's story is not an isolated event, she said. Workers and consumers are vulnerable because safety regulations are lagging behind the rapid industry growth. It's unacceptable for companies to prioritize profit over people's safety. Workers and consumers need to be protected. That is why this bill is crucial. Bruneau asked lawmakers on the Joint Committee to support HB 194 in honor of her daughter's memory to make sure this doesn't happen again to anybody else. Lorna was my world, and I have no world anymore, she said. In 2022 of June, OSHA officials dealt TrueLeave more than $35,000 in fine, which the company contested related to 3 workplace hazard communication violations. OSHA attributed the violations to a failure to properly train workers on occupational hazards and non-compliant record keeping of hazardous materials at the facility. In November 2023, nearly 2 years after the incident, a federal report published by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention determined that McMurray's death was the first attributed to occupational asthma in a U.S. cannabis production worker. This case illustrates missed opportunities for prevention, including control of workplace exposures, medical surveillance, and treatment according to current asthma guidelines, according to the report. Before that report was issued, Florida-based TrueLeave announced in June 2023 that it was exiting the Massachusetts market, a decision that impacted 128 workers, including the ones at the now-closed Holyoke facility. In June 2024, TrueLeave agreed to pay $350,000 fine in a settlement with the CCC in connection to McMurray's death. In November 2024, the CCC issued recommendations designed to improve workplace health and safety licensed cannabis processing facilities and throughout the industry, marketing the commission's formal recognition of ground cannabis dust as a hazardous chemical that can irritate the respiratory system and expose skin. This recognition is key for cannabis companies to remain compliant with OSHA regulations. Since McMurray's death, the federal agency has cited other cannabis licensees for failing to evaluate and classify ground cannabis dust as a hazardous chemical under the OSHA Hazard Communications Standard. Under the federal standard, employees are required to ensure proper chemical labeling on containers, provide information and training to employees about chemical hazards, and develop and maintain a written hazard communication program. Also, employers are required to provide a safety data sheet after evaluating the hazards of the chemicals they produce and communicate those hazards to exposed workers and downstream consumers. Although cannabis remains federally illegal, cannabis businesses must still comply with OSHA standards and are subject to violations. The Commission's recommendations are intended to increase awareness of the health risks associated with the industry and to enhance safety standards, CCC Chief Police Office Debbie Hilton Creek said at the time. We will consider to partner with licensees to appropriately and effectively communicate this message and depend on them to implement protocols that will provide the overall well-being of our workforce. While the CCC depends on cannabis businesses to remain OSHA compliant, HB 194 would help the Commission ensure that industry workers are protected. Also testifying in support of HB 194 was Elsa Hector, one of the 4 panelists associated with the Massachusetts Coalition for Cannabis Worker Safety. She told the Joint Committee members that cannabis workers often don't report illnesses or injuries out of fear of retaliation. Quote, employees have failed to protect workers, perhaps from shortcuts to maximize profit or because they need guidance on how to implement safety protections, Hector said. The federal government will be of less help. Hector was referring to the expected summer 2025 closure of OSHA's roughly 5,000 square foot office building in Andover as a result of lease cuts announced last month by President Donald Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, which is led by Elon Musk. The cuts nearly 800 leases for federal agency office buildings nationwide, including 11 OSHA buildings out in Alabama, 3 in Illinois, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, and Texas, the Associated Press reported. While closing the OSHA's office in Andover, one of the agency's 4 offices in Massachusetts could save more than $140,000 annually in lease payments, some argue that the move could cost more than that with an increase in work-related injuries, illness, and deaths. The state has to step up, Hector said. Well, That's just horrifying that someone was, that someone died because of allergy related incidences due to dust, which is really marijuana dust. I mean, who would have thought? And these are the kinds of things that you think, well, they should have known, they had asthma, blah, blah, blah. But who knew that cannabis dust could cause such a reaction in someone's body? What we do know is this.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
Walk into my house like, what up? I got some good pop. I'm just pumped up, got some herb from the pot shop. Ice in the fridge, it used to be frosty. My friends like, damn, that's a so nasty kid. Rolling in hella high, looking like it's FIFA time. Dominating all my friends as I eat some chili fries. Draped in the snuggie with my girl sitting next to me. Probably shouldn't have had a big gulp full of iced tea. But shit, it was 99 cents. I'll be pissing and smoking, about to go and get some munchies. Next, passing up on those Cracker Jacks, Reese's Pieces of where it's at. Gotta get me some soda pop. Cottonmouth has been creeping up, but can't remember where I put my keys. Yeah, that's what's up. I'ma take your grandpa's ride. No, for real, ask your grandpa, can I take a 65? To Bill cruising to my local Publix. Nothing better than rolling with two super fly chicks that have frozen burritos. I bought frozen burritos. I bought some Ben and Jerry's, and then I bought some chips. Hello, my main man Obama. A couple states have just reformed their laws on marijuana. What you gonna do, send the feds there? Hell no, the DPAs will be like, oh, they got volcano.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
What you know about the science of marijuana? What you know about people suffering from glaucoma? They need it, it helps them with their condition. If you don't believe me, then just ask my physicians. Thank your granddad for voting for that guy. Richard Nixon is the president who made the plant illegal. But science is now showing that it's medicine for people, and the private sector's fighting to keep all of that illegal. Alcohol and tobacco, pharmaceutical prisons. I'll take those 4 major lobby groups and fight those motherfuckers. They're making money day and night, all those motherfuckers. And bribing Congress out of sight, all those motherfuckers. They be like, oh, it's immoral and unhealthy. I'm like, how many people
Are you making wealth?
If the marijuana lobbies are making all kinds of profits and they don't want you to stop because of all the special interest. I call that getting swindled and pimp shit. I call that getting tricked by the government. That law's hella old, so it's time to update it, regulate it, and then get it under state control. Peak game, look into my political telescope. Think it's gonna stay like this forever? Not hella won't. Not hella won't.
Hey, Obama, stop being a hypocrite. You used to smoke weed, fool.
I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome. Let's end the war on drugs. It's time to go to club. These special interest groups are nothing more than corporate thugs. Let's end the war on weed. The people have agreed. These special interest groups have built these corporate rivalries. I'm gonna smoke some weed. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm a hunting, looking for a pot shop. This is fucking awesome.
All right, welcome back to Weedsday Wednesday, everybody. That song always goes so fast. I'm like, I can get up, take a shower, do some things, and no, that is not the case. You're listening to Weedsday Wednesday with Belle Star, Silver Sister here. Cannabis Kid is somewhere in the universe. And we're going to let you know we are sponsored by Tumbleweeds Health Center and the Good Leaf at 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. I announced 4826. That was 13 years of doing that. It's not where we are right now. No, we are at 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. So come check us out and come check out the beautiful store that we have and all the hard work Silver Sister has done to get every product on earth in that store. It's amazing. There are things in there I don't even know about. I'm like, what is this? Every product on earth. And shrooms. Yes. Lion's mane and a proprietary blend, which no one will tell you what's in it, which is kind of dangerous because, you know, like the girl that died in the what's that? Yeah, oh, they're called road trip. And boy, do you trip on that road. And people just absolutely go ape doo-doo about those things. It's crazy. But get on down to Tumbleweeds Health Center. If you want to know what you get certified for, you don't need to get certified to get your shrooms, but you do if you want to get your medical cannabis. And there are a lot of benefits to that, folks. 2.5 ounces every 2 weeks, to name some. Legal protection, which is good. Everybody needs legal protection. Low taxes. If you want to pay 25% sales tax for your weed, go right ahead. But if you're an avid weed smoker or doer or partaker or drinker or edibler, you need to get your med card so that you can get cheaper weed. That's for sure. However, you don't need to come down to get your card. We have a telemedicine section on our website at tumbleweedshealthcenter.com. Check out our telemedicine section. You can get certified from your car, from your couch, from your cannabis community support group. So wherever you are, if you're a facility, if you can't get out or they've locked you in, you can get certified anyway. And these are the ailments you can get certified for. Most of them you will have seen a doctor because you have been diagnosed with one of these. PTSD, cancer, AIDS, chronic pain, severe nausea, seizures, including epilepsy, HIV, Hep C, ALS, Crohn's disease, agitation of Alzheimer's, dementia, cachexia, wasting syndrome, severe and persistent muscle spasms, including multiple sclerosis. You are eligible for a medical cannabis card if you suffer from a chronic or debilitating disease or a medical condition, or just a treatment for a chronic or debilitating disease or medical condition that causes any of the above conditions and more. Bring your current medical records with you at the time of appointment or walk-in. If you don't have current medical records, we can offer you an evaluation at the time of your appointment for most conditions. Not all, but for most of those. So let's see, where is it?
If you suffer from one of these medical conditions and have been diagnosed by an Arizona licensed physician, medical cannabis may help relieve your symptoms. Tumbleweeds Health Center is Arizona's premier cannabis certification, health, and education center. Our primary focus is to help the patients of Arizona obtain their medical marijuana card and educate everyone about medical cannabis. With current medical records, approval is a simple process. Contact Tumbleweeds Health Center to see if you qualify for your Arizona medical marijuana card.
Are chronic conditions holding you back from a happy, healthy life? Get on the right track with Tumbleweeds Health Center. Our CBD products are formulated to fit your health lifestyle.
I would definitely say that CBD has changed my life. I mean, I don't worry about my dog anymore, and I don't worry about sleeping anymore.
Tumbleweeds Health Center, voted #1 health center in Tucson, has created a proprietary number of CBD blends, each designed to promote health and well-being. Let Tumbleweeds Health Center show you how CBD products might help you improve your life the natural way.
That's right. Give us a call, 520-838-4430. Come on down to 6224 East Speedway Boulevard. We are at the southwest corner of Speedway and Wilmot. And we are open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. And occasionally, well, we're trying to get our Sundays from like 11 to 3 just for you Jesus Feed Churchers. So after you go to church, come on down and get some hemp and CBD products. Hopefully we've got monsoons coming up. We have had 0 rain this year. It has been horrible. We're in a major drought here in the desert. And come on down, get some. I've never eaten them myself, but I know that the puppy parents are really happy with Charlotte's Web calming treats. They've got passion flower and chamomile and valerian and hemp in them, and they work wonders for your pups when there's storms, and 4th of July is coming, so the fireworks are going to get everybody. And just, if you've got an anxious puppy and they don't like when you leave the house, you can I always say, give them a treat like a half hour before you're supposed to leave. That way they're kind of chilled out and mellowed out before you take off. And it's just helpful because no one wants to be anxious, especially a puppy, because they can't just say, "Hey, mom, I'm anxious." So get on down there and support your pups and your local small businesses. All right. North Carolina lawmakers propose legalizing medical cannabis through a research program. A group of House Democrats introduced a bill that would allow patients to possess up to 1.5 ounces of cannabis for research purposes. Oh, that's interesting. North Carolina House Democrats filed legislation on April 14th that would legalize up to 1.5 ounces of medical cannabis for patients participating in a registered cannabis research study. The Cannabis Treatment Research Act, sponsored by Rep. Julia Greenfield and 9 of her colleagues in the lower chamber, would allow hospitals, universities, laboratories, pharmaceutical manufacturers, or private medical research corporations that register with the state's Department of Health and Human Services, the DHSS, to conduct cannabis research. Under the legislation, House Bill 984, the DHSS would be required to establish a cannabis treatment research database for patients, caregivers, physicians, institutions, and their researchers to register for medical cannabis studies and to be protected from criminal penalties, arrests, and prosecutions. Quote, the scientific research conducted under this article may involve the development of quality control, purity, and labeling standards for cannabis, sound advice and recommendations on the best practices for the safe and efficient medical use of cannabis, and analysis of genetic and healing properties of the many varied strains of cannabis to determine which strains would be best suited for a particular medical condition or treatment, according to the legislations. The legislation comes at a time when North Carolina remains one of the nation's last holdouts on legalizing a commercial marketplace for cultivating and dispensing medical cannabis to qualifying patients. The state's lack of policy reform is despite medical cannabis representing a nonpartisan issue among its electorate. 71% of North Carolina voters support medical cannabis legalization, according to a February 2025 survey conducted by Meredith College pollsters. Although the North Carolina Senate passed medical cannabis legalization bills in 2022 and 2023, with the most recent effort drawing a 36-10 vote in the upper chamber, former House Speaker Tim Moore refused to entertain the reform movements. Recently elected House Speaker Destin Hall said in 2020 that he opposed legalizing medical cannabis. Under HB 984, a patient who participates in a medical cannabis research study would be required to have written certification from a physician with whom he or she has a bona fide relationship. The certification would need to include a statement that, in the physician's professional opinion, the patient has a medical condition and the potential health benefits of the medical use of cannabis would likely outweigh the health risks for the patients, according to the bill. The legislation would also provide immunity for research institutions on a case-by-case basis to dispense cannabis to registered caregivers who are at least 18 years old, a state resident, and a parent, legal guardian, or custodian of registered patient. Although HB 984 would legalize medical cannabis for patients participating in a research study only, they'd have to dispose of any unused cannabis from the study at a secured collection box managed by a law enforcement agency. Another bill introduced last month by State Rep. Jordan Lopez would broadly legalize cannabis for all North Carolinians 21 and older. That legislation also intends to establish a licensed marketplace to regulate cultivation and retail. However, no state to date has legalized adult use cannabis before medical cannabis. Still, those 21 and older have legal access to cannabis on the roughly 50,000 acre Qualla boundary in western North Carolina, where the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians launched sales in 2024. Woo! Way to go, Indians. Legalize that cannabis. Do it. Do it. Get your money back. Get your land back. Take it all back. Coming back. Still, possessing Any amount of cannabis outside the native reservation remains a misdemeanor, including the possibility of jail time for those caught with more than a half ounce on their person. Possessing more than 1.5 ounces is a felony. So just grab a joint from the Indians and get on out of there. Injun joints. I love it. Oh, you're welcome. TM. Injun joints. You know I love you guys. I can make fun of it. If HB 984 passes, the Cannabis Treatment Research Act would become effective July 1st, 2025, and apply to offenses committed on or after that date. So there you go. North Carolina, get it together and get your weed. It's important. All right. Let's see what else is going on in the world of weed. All right. NBA Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony brings cannabis brand agency to New York. The former Knicks player is rolling out his brand Stamy 70 cannabis focused agency, Grand National in the Empire State. New York, April 2025. Carmelo Anthony, a 10-time NBA All-Star and recently selected first Basketball Hall of Fame inductee, announced the highly anticipated launch of his cannabis brand. Oh, Stay Mellow. I don't, but that's weird. It doesn't read like that. Why you gotta do that? It's a cannabis focused agency, Grand National, because it's literally Stay Me 70. Why is that Stay Mellow? Where does the 7 become an L? Well, oh, they did do a typo because they couldn't do an upside down 7. Stay Mellow. It's a cannabis focused agency, Grand National in New York. The rollout to select retailers across the state will begin in April 2025. Anthony, whose storied basketball career includes 7 memorable seasons with the Knicks, is now channeling his passion and entrepreneurial spirit into the cannabis industry, following the launch of his wine and multimedia companies. Stay Mellow Cannabis, developed in partnership with renowned cannabis entrepreneur Jesse Horton and award-winning creative director Brandon Drew Jordan Pierce, quote, Beatty, aims to elevate the cannabis experience through meticulously crafted products and a commitment to social equity. Quote, I'm excited to be launching the debut of Stay Mellow in New York, Anthony said. New York is home, and bringing this project to life here feels incredibly personal and full circle. This isn't just about cannabis. It's about empowering our communities, uplifting undeserved entrepreneurs, and creating meaningful opportunities that support and celebrate our culture. Launching Stay Mellow in New York alongside Carmelo exemplifies this type of projects Grand National is committed to. We build brands that authentically represent the culture and bring value and excitement to the market, said Horton, co-founder of Grand National and co-founder of the Minority Cannabis Businesses Association. Grand National, the agency behind Stay Mellow, was co-founded by Anthony Horton and Pierce to strategically support cannabis brands and operators navigating today's rapidly evolving industry. Leveraging deep expertise in engineering, plant science, elite marketing, film production, and global visibility, Grand National bridges the gap between innovation and execution. Anthony and his partners have prioritized collaboration with minority-owned businesses and dispensaries, underscoring their commitment to social justice and economic empowerment. Stay Mellow will debut in New York following a successful rollout in Oregon last year. A portion of Stay Mellow's proceeds will support New Project, a nonprofit providing funding, financial coaching, and network connections to help diverse entrepreneurs build generational wealth through the legal cannabis industry, and the Last Prisoner Project, a nonprofit dedicated to cannabis criminal justice reform, Anthony said, quote, it's essential we open doors and create meaningful opportunities for these communities. With the New York launch, Anthony and his partners at Grand National and Stay Mellow are poised to build upon their West Coast debut and redefine the cannabis landscape, and combining premium products, powerful execution, and a steadfast commitment to social equity. All right, Stay Mellow. You go, boy. Basketball. Well, they're letting. Oops, no, we don't want to go into lighting systems. Lighting systems. Um, all sorts of the sports players are getting into the industry now that there's been like a lift on all the testing and everything else that's been going on in the marketplace since we have been in the business for almost 14 years now. That's right, kids, almost 14 years. Tumbleweeds Health Center.com. Check it out. All right, let's see. Oh, we already read about high tariffs. Yeah. Yes, the cannabis industry is failing medical patients and leaving billions on the table. It's an opinion. They really are. What's that?
I concur.
Yeah, we concur. Totally concur. The recreational market and the dispensaries around here, even Saints. I went into Saints here, local in town. They were the first dispensary to open in Tucson, and for a while they touted that they were going to be only medical, that they were going to just support the medical patients, and that was a beautiful thing. But now I went in there to buy some products for sleep, and they barely had anything medical. There were like 2 products I think on the shelf that were medical, and they were horrible. They're just all filled with sugar and dyes and chemicals and colorings and things that aren't good for patients that are trying to get healthy. Before licensed dispensaries, venture capital, and mass marketing branding, there were patients. The legal cannabis industry exits today because of them. It was patients, people living with AIDS, cancer, autism, epilepsy, MS, and other debilitating conditions who fought for legalization. That's right. Their advocacy, their stories, their medical needs convinced policymakers to take cannabis seriously. Yet today, those patients have been left behind. In my role as co-founder and chief commercial officer for Canformatics, I've had the privilege of speaking with medical cannabis physicians, nurses, and patients. I've seen firsthand what they need and how frustrated they are with an industry that has deprioritized them. Meanwhile, the cannabis market is struggling. Flower prices have collapsed, profit margins are shrinking, and brands are failing to differentiate themselves. Call it karma. Yet millions of patients, people suffering from over 80 medical conditions linked to the endocannabinoid system, are still searching for products designed for them. How can a patient, following a doctor's advice to start low and go slow, find a low dose full spectrum THC product when dispensary shelves are stocked with items starting at 5 milligrams THC with few options beyond a basic 1-to-1 THC to CBD ratio? It's time for the cannabis industry to return to its roots. Yes, the future of sustainable growth isn't just in chasing recreational consumers. It's finally delivering what medical patients have needed all along. And for brands willing to step up into that space, the opportunity is massive. Despite the industry's focus on recreational products, there's a huge undeserved market of medical cannabis patients. The market potential for medical cannabis patients includes chronic pain. It affects 50 million U.S. adults. Pain management market projected to reach 115.5 billion by 2031. Endometriosis impacts 10% of women of productive age worldwide, 190 million people worldwide. Alzheimer's, nearly 7 million Americans are affected, and cases are expected to double by 2050. Autism spectrum disorder, over 5.4 million adults and 1 in 36 children diagnosed, many caregivers already exploring cannabis symptom relief. Yet, most cannabis products are designed for recreational consumers, not medical patients. Cannabis brands have spent the last decades prioritizing THC potency and branding over research, development, and medical formulations. The result? An industry where patients struggle to find standardized, effective, properly labeled, and well-researched products. This isn't just a failure of vision, it's a massive missed opportunity in business. And business, yeah. brands that move beyond flower and genetic edibles will lead the space. And here's what it would take: develop some targeted medical formulations, invest in research and patient trials, upgrade packaging and labeling, and build relationship with health care providers. And that's exactly what you need to do, because you started out medical and you need to stay medical, and we need to support the medical community. And with that, folks, you're listening to Weedsday Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. We love being here for you. Open hour, where are you? We've got some special guests coming up in the next few weeks. So check everything out. And remember, as always, be smart, be safe, and educate. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week. Belle Star, Silver Sister, and Cannabis Kid. We love you. Smoke a bong for me. Have a great day, folks. Happy Weedsday Wednesday.
If you suffer from
Every time. All right. Take care. See you next week.